everybody. Digging into some music that I never use on stream. I think I downloaded that originally to put in the background of a video that I did. It was like baby's first media analysis moment about the new Matrix movie. Anyway, hello. We're here. My hair is doing things. Can I change my name on PayPal? I don't think so, actually. They're notoriously bad about that. But anyway, hello. Yes, hi, Mersh. Hello, Baphomet. What's up, Kitty? Hello to the YouTube chat as well. You're the redheaded stepchild, but we still love you, because there's nothing wrong with redheads. Anyway. Yeah. It's Sunday. Sunday fun day. I haven't even looked. I think the weather is kind of overcast in this general vicinity, so it's a nice preview into what my life is going to be like relatively soon. Starting to get definitely a very lots of feelings about moving as I get closer to that. So, excuse me. But yes, welcome to stream. This is the first, I don't know, 30 to 60 minutes where we're just going to kind of talk about whatever. And then, yeah, we'll get into some topics. And I don't even know that I have a lot of extensive commentary. There just doesn't seem like there was this, like a very active news week this week. Otherwise, I'd see more stuff in the stream recommendations channel. Although I put something in there that I had forgotten about. Apparently, Next Benedict's school district has been found to have been repeatedly and with deliberate indifference violating Next's Title IX rights. So, yeah, that's a story that we can read about. I've been getting back into WoW lately for fresh servers. Yeah, I heard that there are going to be new servers that are going to be classic, and then they're going to, wow, what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to progress through the Burning Crusade, so that's cool. I'm on a classic-only server. I don't know. I am tempted. I just want them to, I want them to open one that's going to progress through Wrath of the Lich King, and then stay there. Stay there. Yes, I think I'll enjoy the PNW. I think it's exactly my vibe. Oh, what are you doing today, hair? I don't know. It's been crazy. Turns out when you treat your curly hair correctly, it does all kinds of weird stuff. Instead of just being flat and floofy all the time. Anyway, yeah, moving is a big life change, but it's going to be great living in a blue state. I assume. I'm excited. Moving in the middle of the winter, kind of crazy. I mean, at least I'm not worried about any of my, like, my computer components melting in the back of a U-Haul. Yeah, I don't want to get off too much on, like, a World of Warcraft tangent, because I know that's not for everybody. Sometimes people really lose interest when you talk about video games. I will say, it's crazy how old WoW is. I think it just did its 20-year anniversary. The fact that this game is not only still receiving support, like obviously games that are super old, sometimes you'll have like one or two servers that stick around for a long time, but for it to still be maintaining like this level of support where new products come out regularly, they still have expansions every 2 years, and yes, Wrath of the Lich King was peak as far as subscribers. Like, there were never more subscribers in the game than back during Wrath of the Lich King. But I am doing a WoW tangent anyway. It's a video game tangent, okay? Sorry, I'm interested in more things than just annoying politics. So, yeah, but this is the thing, is like this game obviously has some success, like, as an example of the pinnacle of long-lasting, heavily subscribed games. And they figured out, oh yeah, we're losing players because people don't like a lot of the changes that we've made in the past few expansions. And so, hey, let's recapture some of that market by starting up WoW Classic and then progressing through several expansions. Like, yeah, I, as much shit as it gets, and yes, the player base in WoW is extremely varied. You get people who like will help you and give you a ton of gold and, you know, give you inventory space, and like it's just, I mean, and then of course you've got people who camp and who gank, and it's really annoying, but whatever. I deliberately chose to be on a PvP server, so that's on me. Ooh, yeah, the expense of a new computer. Hey, it's good that it happened now, Mersh, instead of after all the tariffs come in, because, yeah, anything from China is. They're stating that they're going to tax it quite a lot, so any computer components are going to be rather expensive. If you can afford to get on a new, like, get a new phone with a new, like, updated payment plan, um, any computer components you might need, any car parts you might need, get on that. My laptop is super old, but it can still run Factorio. True. You know, whatever, whatever you have to do. Oh gosh, let's see. What else? What are other updates going on since Wednesday? Um, I found an apartment that I'm really actually kind of excited about. I got in touch with them on Friday, but I might actually just go ahead and call them tomorrow and be like, "Hey, no, seriously, very much you have a unit that I want. I want to know when I could have that potentially." Um, Obviously, moving across state lines is tricky when you don't have a job secured. Um, it's the thing about being a subcontractor is like you have to establish yourself in a place. So it's gonna be a little bit weird, but fingers crossed. Us in the middle of a tech boom, or US in the middle of a tech boom. I know. Let's put tariffs on computer parts. Good thing I'm not going into a computer heavy field. Oh, oh no, Byron. I'm so sorry. Drink water, everybody. Oh, I was gonna make coffee and I totally got distracted, and now I'm not gonna leave stream long enough to make coffee. Disappointing. Ooh, here's somewhat exciting news. I recorded the main part, at least, of the next video essay that I'm gonna put up, which is very exciting. Uh, it's so weird that the stream is so disconnected from like regular channel stuff now. Like I'm still giving my hot takes about politics, but then on the channel I'm like, "Oh, you know what? I need to write more. I need to contact my friend to edit it. I need to um now I'm in the process of editing it together, which is to say that I have like clips that I want to put in from other like from TV shows and stuff. I have to figure out like which parts I'm gonna do more like voiceover. Do I need to re-record anything? Um, yeah, so it's pretty exciting stuff. I'm genuinely considering doing like a Skillshare class of editing. At one point, H Bomber Guy recommended one at the end of one of his videos when he was doing an ad read for Skillshare. Yeah, and I'm just thinking that I want to make sure that I have like a strong editing concept, you know. Maybe I won't like stop editing this video and go do a Skillshare course because it'll make the video take forever and I need to get over my perfectionism. So it'll be kind of neat to see as the series goes on how I start out as like a pretty amateur editor and then hopefully like learn more things and get more skills to be way better at it. So that's going to be fun. I don't know what project I'm going to work on after this one, which is I feel like I should know, if that makes any sense. Like, I have obviously a giant list of dragon movies that I can review, which is what this series is setting up. What this video is setting up the series about. And then I have like my short list of ideas for video essays, but I don't really feel like any of those video essays are things that I'm ready to do right now. So I think probably simultaneously as I have the dragon review thing going on, I will probably also start doing like a trans movie review type thing. Um, and with that, I'll probably just take each movie as it is and give like my commentary on it instead of having like a structure, which I kind of want the dragon review videos to have something of a structure, or at least like there are certain things that I'm trying to talk about in each video. So I think, yeah, like a trans movie review. And then maybe I just need to start watching more movies in general so that I can have ideas for like, oh, do I have anything I need to say about this movie? Does this movie say anything that I want to highlight? Biden bringing in the CHIPS Act might have been an even better move than realized at the time. Is that because we make computer parts domestically? Is that what the CHIPS Act did? Good gracious. Riffs No Leads makes a very good point. They say, like a stream. We appreciate any engagement on the streams. Liking the stream tells YouTube to show it to more people so we can get more people in here to hang out with us. You're an electrician and have excellent tech skills, Moss. You could get hired by a local technology firm or manufacturer easily if you had to. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I actually, like, I don't really think I have that many super great skills. I am like a apprentice level electrician. And I think my tech skills maybe seem more robust than they are. Like, yes, it takes effort to get all of this functioning. And, you know, getting the fucking microphone to work is for some reason the most difficult thing. But yeah, I don't think I have like marketable skills. And then also factor in like my refusal to work at a place that's going to repeatedly expose me to COVID. And like the fact that I need to just sit down sometimes for a while because I'm fucking really tired. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna double, triple down on working for myself and working super hard doing that. My partner is the one who is more capable of working outside the home. So he's the guy. Like, I make a decent amount of money. I can afford to buy myself things occasionally, but like, or, you know, being able to afford buying gifts for other people, also good. But, you know, would definitely be a struggle if I was just trying to make this work on my own. I thought the CHIPS Act ensured I always had a bag of potato chips at home. More Dem lies. True. More false promises from the Dems. Kitty says, I think we are lucky Biden did do a few things, and the CHIPS Act has already opened several new factories with more to come. Not going to be perfect or fast, but things will eventually become available from domestic sources for the first time in 2.5 decades. Also, review the movie Transformer with no S at the end. It's about a bodybuilder and her transition journey. Very beautiful story. Cried a lot. It was on Netflix. Documentary. It was documentary more than just a movie, though. Okay. Christians Against Dinosaurs. That's a great name. Yeah, I'll put that on my list. Where is my Google Docs? So I do have like a list of trans movies. It's much shorter because I haven't spent as much time fleshing out this idea. But I have a list of like trans movies that I want to look at and review. Transformer, Netflix. Have you seen I See That? No, I haven't seen I Saw the TV Glow. I think it's been added to HBO though, and I have a Max subscription, so yes, I know that one should be on a list. So I've added it to the list. I'm gonna try to see something real quick. Oh yeah, I recently changed the brightness settings on my screen, and now you can see when I'm on a white web page, like my face gets very white. Whiter than it already is. That movie messed me up bad. Yeah, I'm not like keen to watch I Saw the TV Glow because everybody says it's so intense, but it is a trans allegory story, like directed by or written by a trans person. I can't remember which. So it is an explicitly trans story by a trans person. And I'm interested in that, obviously, but I don't know. I try to enjoy myself in my free time, but I guess if I'm watching this for work, then it's not really my free time. It's like a thing that I have to do. One good thing about being estranged from family is that you don't have to worry about Christmas presents, birthday presents, etc. Just have to buy several gifts for coworkers and can get most of those from the Dollar Tree. Yeah, yeah. I'm of the age now where it is kind of something I need to do to buy gifts or at least make gifts. Like I made my partner his Christmas gift last year. I haven't started thinking about that this year. My partner is not really like a give me gifts person. He's an if I want something, I'm going to buy it for myself kind of person. So, maybe that's part of why I love cooking so much because I'm like I'm able to give you something that was like the fruit of my labor and I didn't have to spend any more money on it than just like, oh, I'm spending money on food for everybody. Crimes of the Future by David Cronenberg isn't explicitly trans, but he has commented that he loves people's trans reading of it and fully supports it. It's largely about social conflict over bodily autonomy. Very gross movie though. You know what? We'll add it to the list. Where did my doc go? There it is. Okay, so Crimes of the Future. Cronenberg, not explicitly trans. Okay, cool. That's good. I put off seeing I Saw the TV Glow with the excuse of I wouldn't get anything new out of it, and the real reason is because I was terrified of having my feelings torn apart like that, but I'm glad I did it. Nice. But yeah, for this year, I want to do at least stockings. I like getting, little things and having a little bit of a variety of things for the stocking. And then I don't know if I'm going to do any major Christmas gifts this year. My major Christmas gift this year is the GoFundMe, I guess. Like being able to hoof most of the moving fees and stuff. My favorite gift to give and receive at this point is any sort of art piece, painting, paper mache, clay, doodle, whatever. Yeah. I do my fiber arts thing. I crocheted the gift for my partner last year. So, yeah, crocheting things. It's kind of like the one thing that I do for just a pure hobby that I have. Well, I have monetized it a little bit, but not very much. 50 people in here. Very nice. Appreciate you hanging out. Hit the like button, please. We have a 10-inch tall Legend of Zelda tree. It will be the tree forever. It will be the tree forever now until our weeping spruce gets bigger. 10-inch tall? Like a Deku tree? I don't know what you're talking about. Ginger Snaps isn't a trans allegory, but it's queer as hell and an iconic horror masterpiece. Nice. Oh, I'm having fun collecting footage. I collected footage from a silent film today for the video essay, and it is gonna be really amusing. Oh, a tiny tree meant for a work desk. Yeah. Usually I'm going to update my background. I mean, it's going to be fairly short-lived, I suppose, but I will update it to be more Yule, winter, Christmassy oriented back here. However, I usually do it like roughly halfway between the two holidays, or at least I try to do it. Like we just had Halloween and Samhain, and then we're going to have Yule at the end of December. And so I guess I was going to go like, I guess late November before I was going to start switching things out. I don't know. And I do have a tiny tree. It's like, do I put the tiny tree over here or do I put the tiny tree in a more central location? I do have a tiny tree though. For a few years now, my wife and I give each other a painting or two or more every year now for Yule or birthdays. We're running out of room on the walls. Nice. Yes, Christ Against Dino. Welcome to the website chat. We do be over on the website chat. This is not Twitch, by the way. If you're on the YouTube chat and you're wondering, this over here is my website. I love your work on the line and found out shockingly late about your channel. Hey, no worries. I have a very small niche channel. It doesn't get recommended to very many people because I've been doing like very specific trans related content. So yeah, we're shifting content right now and hopefully going to grow the channel. I am really excited about the idea of potentially being able to grow the channel much, much larger by breaking out of this. Like, obviously I'm still going to talk about trans stuff, but I'm like not harping on the politics in the same way and being able to go, hey, let's do a video essay and insert politics into the video essay instead of trying to market it as explicitly political. You have a sub in me. Yeah, well, don't make too many promises. Yeah, oh my god, I'm so excited to see Again, Mia Moore's video. It's a queer sci-fi film about time travel and struggling to be human after years of dissociation. I am excited to see it. I have no idea, like, where it's going to be viewable or anything, but I do wish that there was more availability of, like, access to indie films. Like, Close to You, which is Elliot Page's recent movie about being a trans guy going home for Christmas. Or, I mean, I don't know that it's a Christmas movie or just, like, a more generic, like, the holidays time. But yeah, like, I think maybe it's online now, but it's like it's a finished movie and I know about it and I do not know where to find it. Close to You, Elliot Page. Where can I watch it? I want to watch the movie. I guess it's on Netflix? Is it on Netflix? Did it finally come to a streamer? Okay, so I could go watch it on Netflix. Cool. Yeah, but like I said, for a while it wasn't available. So like when Again gets finished, I don't know when I'm going to be able to see it. Speaking of queer films, have you seen Nimona? No. I know that Eugene Lee Yang was in it, I think, if I'm thinking of the right movie. Nimona. Oh my goodness. There, I will put that on the list also. I'm tired. It's been a long week. I feel like I'm just super busy all the time. And also that I'm not able to get anything done. Isn't that a great combo? You're like, I feel like I'm not accomplishing as much as I should. And you're like, but also I'm really tired. Sick combo. I don't know that I have any other news stuff. Is there anything that's happened in the last few days that we should talk about? Like, Next Benedict's school district has been found to have been acting negligently in the lead up to his death. That's something we want to talk about. I don't know that I have a ton of commentary on Blue Sky, but we'll have a conversation about Blue Sky and Twitter. And then bird flu is seeming like it's at the level of human to human transmission, or it could be very close to being that. I feel like there's been a ton of food recalls recently. There was like apple juice with a ton of arsenic in it that was being sold at Walmart. There was, did we talk about the Onion slash InfoWars? We talked about it a little bit last time. I don't know that I have a lot to say. It's funny. um, there was recently a recall on some onions that were being served on the Quarter Pounder at McDonald's. Like, the onions had E. coli on them, and it was making people sick. And now I'm just seeing another announcement from the CDC that if you have organic bagged carrots in your house, you should not eat them. Like, E. coli outbreak linked to Grimway organic carrots. And these are also under the brands 365, Good and Gather, Simple Truth, Trader Joe's, Wegmans, and others. So it's like, what is with all these? Again, is this just like a selection bias that I didn't used to pay attention to these things, or is it actually happening more often now? I swear there've been like 6 listeria recalls this year. I feel like I remember seeing something about listeria related to like deli meat and cheese. I would think it was boar's head deli meat. It's very strange. I don't know what the deal is. Ooh, hey. Thank you, Christ Against Dono, for the $5 Christ Against Dino for the $5 dono. That's appreciated. First dono of the day. We're still doing the same thing, guys, where we have the chest over here, the box. And when we get to $100 in donations, I will open the box and we'll find out what's inside. If you're interested in that kind of thing. On the way out, Trump deregulated the meat industry and this has not been reversed. Cool. Love that. There was a recall for lettuce as well. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so here's the reason why there's recalls on stuff like lettuce. You're like, how could, E. coli is like a bacteria that lives in poop. How could it be on lettuce? Well, they spray the floors of the places that the cows hang out. And they spray it with like high pressure sprayers. And that, first of all, it creates runoff water where that water then runs toward the water source, which the like the spray heads that then spray the water onto the plants, which you want obviously to water the plants, that then has E. coli in it and it's being sprayed and then it's like landing on the lettuce and other stuff. And then also aerosolizing poop stuff by like you're spraying high pressure water at it, and then that not only does that create like liquid runoff, but it also creates like an aerosolized spray. That might be part of why farm workers are catching bird flu from cows. Yay. Yeah, looking forward to this stuff becoming more common over the years as more regulations are eased. Grow your own food, y'all. Go join a community garden. Grow food inside your apartment if you have to, but like try to supplement that as much as possible. First rule of nature, there's poop everywhere. Second rule, especially true at farms. Yeah. Yeah, like why is this happening a lot now? I think it's like a combination of deregulation, heinous practices in the farming industry itself, which does things like aerosolize cow poop and then spray it directly onto your food. Honestly, and the fact that some of this stuff happens at organic farms, honestly, I do think that it is partially due to an organic farm's tendency to not use the same kind of antibiotics because they're going for an all-natural kind of thing. And so, listen, we have put a lot of research and development into developing antibiotics, and we need them. Like, otherwise you end up with cows with like a lot of E. coli in their bodies, and then downwind problems continue to happen. I spend every day wishing I had the energy and drive of the 14-year-old that scraped rust off an old fence to pay for scout camp. True. Oh my goodness. Christ Against Dino, thank you so much for the $85 donation. You haven't even given yourself a fun color name. It's so strange to me when you all do that. You're like, I'm gonna give an enormous donation, but I'm not going to get a site subscription, which actually gives you a fun color name. You're just giving for no reward, and that is even more noble. The amount of recalls is bad, but the fact that the recalls are happening is good because the org in charge of monitoring is doing their job. Imagine how much we won't hear about starting next year. I mean, I guess that's true. That's even scarier. There should be a subscribe button right next to the button that says donate, but you've already given Christ Against Dino. I'm not saying like now you need to donate more money in order to get a site subscription, but just generally speaking, yeah, like on the website, there should be a button right next to the donate button that says subscribe, which I guess might be confusing. Heavy metal contamination in food freaks me out. I got mercury poisoning as a child from eating a lot of tuna. Like, I'm vegan now and cook all my own food, so I'm not as worried about bacterial contamination, but food isn't labeled with its region / manufacturer of origin, so there's no way to know it's coming from a safe-ish source. I mean, it depends. I specifically buy, if I buy rice, I buy like jasmine rice because it says on the back of the container, like, product of Thailand. And the reason why I do that is because rice that is grown in the United States has more arsenic in it. And the only way to really get that out is to boil it and like cook it like pasta basically. And obviously that is not a super desirable texture for rice to be. But yeah, like looking for it to say a product of such and such country, as far as I can tell, that is like an indication of where the food was grown. But of course, that is a benefit that you have when you buy like stuff that's already bagged, as opposed to like loose produce in the produce section. But some research on rats indicates that if you drink green tea alongside eating meat with mercury in it, it seems to reduce the amount of mercury that you absorb into your body. You end up, like, peeing it out, I'm pretty sure, as opposed to, like, it seeping into your body. So, yeah, if you're worried about mercury accumulation, obviously you said you were vegan, but anybody who eats tuna because it's super heart healthy, the omegas are super good for you. But yes, it does have mercury in it. You can drink green tea to, like, offset that somewhat. I was thinking of how there isn't labeling for rice from the Southwest versus rice from California. Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. I think you can just basically assume that a lot of food that's grown in the US, if it's capable of absorbing heavy metals from the soil, it probably has some in it. Cuz like this country is just built on a history of industrial disasters. The recent like chlorine gas coming out of that factory in Georgia, um, the train derailment near Palestine, Pennsylvania or Ohio or whatever. Or no, it was not Palestine. It was Lebanon. There's like a lot of stupid names like that in the United States. Anyway, but yeah, that big multiple train derailments over the course of last year. Kitty says if you're allowed to have stuff in your yard per your lease, put up a few towers of buckets and do a vertical garden. Same goes for inside your apartment with allowance. Make sure to have a really good drip pan underneath that area. You can grow so much food, I swear. It has a very low learning curve. Yeah, making sure you're providing adequate lighting, but you can use just like super bright LED lights, and you can get like a reflective covering for whatever the shelf or whatever you're growing food on. Don't just rely on when you get like don't just rely on sunlight from like the window. Definitely you want to supplement that with artificial lighting. And LEDs are very power efficient. Regarding this recall, was there some McDonald's news? Yeah. So the onion strips, the yellow onion strips, I guess, that they were serving on the quarter pounder, that apparently had E. coli on it in several states. Supposedly, it's okay now. Funny enough, I actually went to McDonald's and bought a McDouble and forgot about the fact that there was this onion recall. I guess it wasn't the onions that are served on the McDouble, but and also apparently all of those onions from the time when this outbreak happened are past their shelf life, and they were also recalled, so they shouldn't be being used in restaurants now. But I still didn't eat that McDouble because I was like, I don't really want to go to the hospital for E. coli. What's the new disease I need to be worried about? We will get to that in about 15 minutes, Natalie. We are just kind of meandering through topics right now, so I'll tell you about it in a few minutes. Yeah, future archaeologists are going to have a fun time with the USA. We can tell this came from a particular town and in this date range because it's contaminated with this super specific chemical, related to some industrial disaster. What's up, Riffs No Leads? Welcome to the website chat, y'all. We have a failed small veg farm on our block in Nashville. Yo, you should convince them to sell that land to the city and make a community garden. Boxing match opinion felt very stupid to me. Yeah, I mean, it was always a publicity event. It was always stupid. Like, I assume we're talking about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Yeah. It was always just a way for them to make money. Netflix was not capable of handling the amount of site traffic. Yeah, the only winner was capitalism. I heard that the fight itself was really disappointing. Like that neither of them went very hard. And of course, it's like a 20-something-year-old versus Mike Tyson, who's 58. The women's boxing match was much better from what I saw. Yeah, that's what people were saying. People were saying that the warm-up, not the warm-up, but the matches that were on before Tyson and Jake Paul were actually more enjoyable, which I am, not terribly surprised by that. Netflix streamed to 60 million households. Yeah, I saw lots of people posting that they were like, oh, look at this loading screen that I get to look at. Isn't that great? Yeah, this person I follow for COVID stuff, she also has been posting like, here's a bunch of salmonella contamination, E. coli contamination, recalls, just all over the place for the past like 2 years. Regarding gardening indoors, Kitty says buy 2 4-foot roof lights from Harbor Freight that have replaceable bulbs. Then go to the local hydroponics store. Yeah, I have one of those. And get a mix of sunlight and flower bulbs to replace the bulbs that came with it. Super worth it. 150 bucks will seriously increase your yield. Hang them vertical from the roof along the side of the buckets. Oh, like, yeah, you're meaning if you're doing this in your yard. Yeah. I just viscerally hate the Paul brothers. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Junebug. Yeah. I'm like a big advocate of growing your own food, not just because there are going to be supply chain disruptions due to climate change, but this is another great reason is if you're unable to buy food from the store feeling confident that it is not going to be riddled with diseases, then yeah, you need to find a way to get your food locally. I'm thankfully moving to a place that has a ton of local farms. So I'm assuming that I'm going to start hitting up the farmers market like more often. I genuinely trust like small local businesses that have to maintain a reputation within their community versus like these highly industrialized farming practices that are given oversight by a government that is increasingly trending toward deregulation. It's Ben Jules Run says it's pretty clear we're never going to see Jake Paul get his ass beat like everybody wants. I know. It's so sad. Yeah, so yeah, this is the great problem of the next 10 years is that a lot of foreign food products are going to be tariffed, like they're going to be highly taxed, so they're going to be expensive, and then domestic products are going to be disease riddled. So yeah, you all, I hope you don't underestimate me when I say like the water wars are coming. Like genuinely, you need to not only have a community garden but get to know your neighbors and be prepared to protect that resource because shit's gonna get crazy. Like maybe discuss what kind of fencing you can put on and like having a lock on the gate and other forms of security and surveillance. And yeah, because I feel like the last thing I need is for someone to come dig up my tomato plants if I'm like, in the middle of trying to sustain my family. It's not a good moment. The rich will be fine, right? The rich will be able to afford tariffs. They'll be able to circumvent tariffs by like smuggling shit into the country. Like they'll be fine. My parents have land, but I don't trust them either. Become really good friends with them so that when they die, they give the land to you. Ooh, this is a good tip. Kitty says, when you meet a farmer, you should ask if they sell direct from farm on non-market days. And if they sell misfits, serious discount a lot of the time. Right, yeah. If they sell direct from farm, then possibly it could be cheaper because A, you can get things more in bulk. And B, because then they're not like having to cover all the fees. Like I'm assuming you have to pay to even have a spot at the farmer's market. So then like the farmer's market itself makes money because otherwise it's a free event. So yeah, I imagine it would be a lot cheaper buying directly from the farm. And yeah, if they sell misfits, like if you're like, hey, is there a pile of ugly ones that I can look at? I would like to buy the ugly ones. Thorn Among Roses. Thank you for the $10 super chat. They say, I'm at a rest stop just a few hours away from my new home in not Florida. Glad I caught your stream on the drive. Nice. Congratulations on getting out of Florida. That seems like a terrible place to be. So congratulations and thank you very much for your donation. That puts us at $100 for today, which means that we can open the box. The water wars have never stopped here in California and the Southwest. They just moved into the courts. I mean, fair enough. I'm just saying, like, when people, like, do not have food and water, they will steal your shit and they will harm you in order to take your shit. So, like, be prepared for that. set up a group chat for my apartment building floor, and I'm putting little flyers under the doors saying I wanted to set up passive communication for channel for us to connect for stuff like spare furniture, needing help moving things. Yeah, you're making the first steps toward a tenants union. That's fun. Okay, are you ready to find out what's in the box? What's in the box? Okay. What could possibly be in here? I don't know. Let's find out together. It's bees! Oh no! Terrifying. Bzz. They're going to get me. It's bees! Bees are what's in the box. Oh no. Terrible. It's bees. Oh. There you go. It's bees. Oh, you can't see it back there. Sorry. Kind of hard to... it's kind of hard to see. Bees. The birds and the bees? No birds, only bees. Bzz, 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 bzz. This makes a good out of context clip. Yeah, nobody ever clips my streams. It's quite interesting. But if you were worried, there is a second box. So now there's an additional box if we get to 200 for today. Bees. Next time it should be a bunch of objects stamped with the letter B. I will keep that in mind. I don't have like a running... I basically spend the last 5 minutes before stream figuring out what to put in there. The small box has been the same thing for the past several weeks. We haven't opened the small box. Kind of always wanted to keep some bees, but I live by a school, so no go. Oh, really? You can't keep bees where children might be? I mean, that's like every neighborhood. Bees from the hit 2007 DreamWorks film Bee Movie. Yeah, I don't know why I stumbled over that so much. Allergy reasons? No, I understand the concept, but it's like there are children in every neighborhood and they play outside. So I don't know what it is about being near a school that makes that a special consideration. Like there should be bees everywhere, and also children are everywhere. Places the box on screen lovingly, hoping to manifest its opening. True. I'm like, what a good little friend. What a cute little box. It doesn't sit flat, so it moves a little bit. One time it can be a QR code leading to a Google Photos image of a mundane object like a stick. True. I could just print out QR codes, I guess. I need a printer. And then I'll just have to hold it up to screen and make you scan it, which is going to be really difficult if you are watching on your phone. My lips are chapped. I'm using Aquaphor because it has lanolin in it, and apparently that's what works for me. Haha, being near a school. True. Okay, are we ready to talk about Pandemie Lovato number 2? Natalie in the YouTube chat asked earlier about it, so I'm ready to move into that. I love bees. Gonna set up a bunch of those passive hives in my woods that are a variety of bee species versus normal farmed honeybees. I want to give a space for more diversity, and I only want a little honey each year, which I can get from a couple of cool bees. Ooh, yes. Do we, so the honeybees Are they invasive? I mean, they're displacing native bees, but is the European honeybee the only one that makes um the only one that makes honey, period? It's like one species of bee is responsible for all of the honey. I don't really know how it works. I haven't Googled this because I do want honeybees, but I don't want to displace native bees. We can pump up the numbers on these likes, guys. Let's get to 50 at least. That should be easy. It's quick, it's free, it's easy, it helps the show directly. Honestly, tall prairie flowers and grasses left up over the winter would go a long ways for the wild bees. Oh, for sure. Yeah, all kinds of positive bugs. And like that's also better for birds. As far as I know, all bees make some kind of honey. Okay. They are less invasive and more just a problem carrier. They carry pests from the factory hives into the environment, which kill other bee species. Okay. They compete a bit for nectar, but wild bees' biggest problem is still habitat loss. Ooh, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Mm-hmm. We lose a ton of wild hives annually to several factors which have evolved on the farms. So if I just get like one queen and make a hive of honey specific bees, that probably wouldn't like harm especially if I put other empty hives around for wild bees. I think that would balance out. Okay, so Pandemic 2, Electric Boogaloo. How much do you know about bird flu? Bird flu is quite deadly, or it can be quite deadly, certain strains of it. We've talked about it periodically because there's an outbreak, lots of chickens have been culled. That's part of why chicken is more expensive now, although again, it is just price gouging, masquerading as inflation. Let's see, who would be talking about this? Would it be Laura? Trying to see. There was something about a teenager in a hospital in Canada because of bird flu. Just keep the hive in your house? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Do you know of a place where I could offer to help people moving from America to or nearby the Netherlands? You could check out Rainbow Railroad or Rainbow Passage. They might know some ways that you could help directly. Oh my gosh, Kitty has lots of recommendations about bees. Do one of the passive collection hives where you never have to take the hive apart to get honey. Yeah, it has like a little spigot on the side, right? That can help keep the hive a closed system. Also put no spray signs along your property and see if you can get your neighbors to also do it. And then call your congressman and ask for the banning of neonics. Those are the current real biggest threat to bees. Is that a particular kind of insecticide? A teen from British Columbia, Canada. Okay, Canada. Teen bird flu. Again, just stop treating your lawn if you have one. I want clover in my lawn. Aren't those more for people who... So the Rainbow Railroad, as I understand it, is an international thing. But Rainbow Passage could also help connect you with the resources. Those are just the only places I know of that are like, here's an organization you could talk to about how you could get involved. Neonics are a whole class of insecticides based off of nicotines. Okay, attacks their nervous system and will kill large sections of the hive through passive exposure if they do make it home. Ooh, yeah, that's rough. more wild lawns means more fireflies. Yeah, I'm moving to the part of the country that just doesn't have fireflies, and it's extremely sad. Oh, it was very sad when I realized that. I love fireflies so much. But this summer, we definitely didn't have very many, and that was sad. I saw some, but I definitely didn't see as many as I would have liked to see. Let your dandelions grow. I also was reading that dandelions are a non-native, potentially invasive in the United States. Or like maybe it's the specific kind of dandelion. Like obviously they are healthy for you and they're, it is a food source for bees early on in the year, but I've seen some people say that there are like better things to cultivate. Obviously you can't completely eradicate dandelions, but that we shouldn't be encouraging them. My parents had clover in their backyard for years. It was really pretty. The wild bunnies loved it. It does grow pretty tall, though, tall enough for birds to make nests in there. Yeah, I think there's different varieties of clover. Okay, I'm looking for this thing about bird flu. But yeah, we first got an indication that this bird flu was potentially at human to human transmission. There was a guy in Missouri, USA, who had contracted bird flu and had no direct contact with farm animals. And then in California, we saw several cases of, again, people who are not farm workers. The one in California was probably mostly farm workers who were directly impacted, directly exposed. But now this teenager in Canada, so this is now outside the US officially, bird flu. Teenager in critical condition with Canada's first human case of bird flu. No underlying health conditions and had been exposed to dogs, cats, and reptiles. So I guess like none of those are farm animals. They had been around animals. And this person is in the ICU. Like I think they're in the intensive care. World Health Organization says H5N1's risk to humans is low because there is no evidence of human transmission, but the virus has been found in an increasing number of animals, including cattle in the United States. So this teen was admitted to the hospital with conjunctivitis, fever, and coughing. They were hospitalized with acute respiratory distress syndrome. No infection source has been identified. But maybe there's something more recent, because I think that I was just reading something about how there was something specific about this this strain potentially operating on one of the human mechanisms for human-to-human transmission. Okay, so there is a specific mutation that the virus would need in order to make the jump to human-human transmission, and that particular mutation has been found in the patient in British Columbia right now. So, yeah, sequence from H5N1 case in BC has recently uploaded to GIS-AID. This mutation is likely developed during infection and linked with mammalian adaptation and virulence in human influenza A. A mutation for mild drug resistance. This is only the second time this particular gene or mutation has been identified in a human infection in North America this year, where previously it was identified in the Texas case in April. So yeah, like the specific mutation that this virus would need in order to operate on human-to-human adaptation, it's there. It's there. Goodbye, Riffs No Leads. Have fun. Okay, so it's possible that this doesn't go into as much detail as it could because somebody in YouTube chat is saying that's not the only mutation needed. Okay, well, it is one of the mutations that is associated with human adaptation, or sorry, mammalian adaptation. So, yeah, so basically it's on the way to human transmission. And we're seeing a lot of cases where we don't know where the person got sick from. So it seems like if it isn't already at human to human transmission, it will be soon. Yes, Riffs No Leads points out that YouTube chat needs to like the stream. We're at 56 likes, which is not bad at all. And there's also more than one clade going around. Like we've identified more than one type of H5N1 going around. Hello, Turtlebird Me. Welcome in. Appreciate ya. We already hit the first goal of the stream without you even being here. Just kidding. Yeah, so basically, this person says the H5N1 virus causing the critical illness in the Canadian teen has multiple mutations on both the HA and PB2 domain that can cause increased human A26 receptor binding and therefore increased infectivity and lethality. This could be why this patient is far sicker than most cases in the US currently. This bird flu virus could cause a severe human pandemic if it efficiently spreads human to human. Thankfully, there are no other cases in British Columbia yet. But I also saw that this hospital does not have airborne infectious disease measures around this patient. They've switched to aerosol exposure safety protocol. So it is yet to be seen how many people come in contact with this teen without the appropriate airborne infectious disease precautions. And we also saw with that man in Missouri that a couple of the nurses who had been in contact with him developed flu-like symptoms, but they were not tested very, very soon. Like they, I guess they were waiting for antibody tests, but so it's unclear whether those nurses got sick with bird flu or with something else. Gross species is like straight north of me, and the 101 literally goes there. Yeah. So we got to keep informed of this. So even though this doesn't have all of the mutations required for human-to-human transmission at this time, the more this disease transmits to humans, the more often it's going to have the opportunity to mutate. Which means that, like, yeah, the precautions need to be in place on farms, which notoriously are trying to spend as little money as possible, like these industrialized farms where they're trying to spend as little money as possible and then earn as much money as possible, which is why they were feeding cows and pigs chicken shit anyway. Like they're scraping the floors of the chicken coop and like processing that into being part of the feed for these other animals. And it's like no wonder, like, and yeah, so these farms, which are mostly maybe in large part employing undocumented people, which of course if Trump does succeed in deporting them, then we're going to be shit out of luck on having many workers willing to work in these conditions. And do we think honestly though that these companies, these industrial farms are going to provide N95s to their workers so that they stop getting sick from being up close and personal with cows? Like it's like we're just a matter of time on this before it becomes another serious pandemic. And people are unwilling to do the things that they need to do. And I have not seen any conversation about any like updated vaccines. Like, are we trying to get ahead of this thing by vaccinating the public before this thing becomes widespread? And of course, it's very unpopular both with Democrats and Republicans, the idea of returning to masking and social distancing. People apparently have trauma surrounding it, and they think that they would rather just risk long term complications and death. So, very much, we might be about to see like a pretty severe impact on the population from having two concurrent infectious diseases at the same time. No one wants to talk about safety protocols on a farm. It's actually easier to get construction workers to keep their hats on. I appreciate the corrections. Math is sweet. I mean, it's basically like I have been saying for a while that it's a matter of time before this thing becomes H2H. And now we have proof that there are the kinds of mutations required for that happening, even if it is not like at the full and complete, like, yeah, it has everything it needs to start becoming human to human. But the fact that it is adopting any of those mutations is of concern. Kitty's giving advice on how to kill your lawn and replace it with something else. Buy a mixed bag of wild grassland seed and just go wild. First, dig up the sod. Second, lay down 2 layers of cardboard, which suffocates any remaining roots. Find a tree trimming company in your area and ask if they want somewhere to dump a load of chips and have them fill your yard with it. If you add lime and a few other things to the mixture, it will biodegrade in about a year, and then you can plant your wild lawn and a nice tree. Nice. That sounds lovely. Oh man, I want to buy a house. It's so far in the future, the prospect of doing that. I'm going to have to save up so much money. And that's after I have to spend like $10,000 on moving across the country. It's going to be great. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to have any money left after that. Yeah, so the version that this Canadian teen had, just for your frame of reference, um, there's one version of the virus that a lot of cows in the US have, and then the version that the teen has in Canada is one that's found in wild birds. So, this is also why I think it's important to limit your exposure to like bird poop in the wild. Like if a bird poops on the handle to your car, you should probably clean that up with like alcohol or some other, you know, sterilizing cleanser. And then, you know, if you have a garden outdoors, like I have some herbs from my garden outdoors this year, and I'm not using any of those. Like I dehydrated them. I'm only going to use them in stuff where I am cooking it because I don't know if a bird pooped on it and then it rained. And so I can't visually tell if there's been bird poop on it. I'm just like, okay, I'm only going to use these in things where it's like I'm cooking this, I'm boiling this, it's coming up to temperature. Because, yeah, you just don't know. I'm glad I've never been someone particularly sensitive to flus and the like, but I have to be super careful with the baby around. Yeah. Yeah. Hard to keep babies from getting sick. Bird flu killed more people than any other pandemic because it was the last truly fucked pandemic after population rose a ton. I fear the bird flu. It's not a good thing. Thank you, Obsis, for the $10 dono. They say you'll have at least $10 after the move. True. Unless I have to spend that on U-Haul or something. But thank you. I'm of course doing my best to be economical, but I'm just saying it's fucking expensive and stuff pops up when you didn't expect it sometimes. Like, let's hope that the U-Haul doesn't blow a tire in the middle of this thing. Like, I don't know. I live in the woods, have 10 crow buddies, find bird poo on the car every other day. I mean, listen, as long as you're not like touching it and then rubbing your eyes or something, just be mindful, is all I'm saying. I hope bird flu will be mild, otherwise, we're screwed. Yeah, no, it's pretty. I mean, it puts you in the hospital. Like this teenager who has it in Canada is in the hospital in intensive care. We need a leftist Joe Rogan who's called Joe Woken. True. That would be funny. Does someone out there have a channel called like Ro Jogan? Because I think that's funny too. There were anti-maskers back in the bird flu, and then most of them died. Oh no. Bird flu was also the first truly worldwide pandemic because birds fly around a lot. Like one bird can spread a lot of flu. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna not take risks. Bird flu, not good. Yeah, as far as I know, well, it's been a few days. I don't. Let's see what's most recent about this flu thing. I want to know if the teenager is still in critical care, because if so, they've been in critical care for like over a week now. 21 hours ago, a Gizmodo article saying that Canada's teen is in critical condition. So yeah, it seems like there hasn't been an update on their condition publicly, at least. The public news is still that's still being published as of like today and yesterday is that the teen is in critical condition. So potentially treatment resistant strain. People are allergic to masks nowadays. Well, deal with having an itchy face then, because that's better than the alternative for sure. Well, I don't know that there's a lot else to say about that. Bird flu bad. Time for a homemade matcha latte. Ooh. Yeah, I wish I had made myself coffee earlier. I do have like some kombucha. I think I must have like accidentally left the first ferment to go a little bit too long because my mixed berry one, it just keeps having this like bitter quality to it. I'm like, that's not what I want it to be. But the strawberry one was pretty good. The strawberry one was pretty yummy. I feel so bad for that teen. Whole future ahead and already in critical condition shows even more how fragile health is. Yeah, that's the thing too. People tend to have this assumption that, well, I'm young and I'm in good health and I do all these different things I'm supposed to be doing and that's going to protect me. And like, it might make some difference, but it's not a guaranteed protection. We have an excess of soy milk, so I'm on assignment to make more of the lattes. Ooh, yeah. We had a West Nile virus in Virginia about 20 years ago. It greatly reduced the blue jay and black starling populations. They're just now bouncing back. There were a few serious human cases, but not as many as the medical authorities thought there would be. Killed more animals than people. Yeah, it kind of to some extent makes sense because human beings have technology to protect ourselves from mosquitoes. We have citronella candles, we use vanilla, and we use like DEET, like all these different things. And we have clothing we can wear. I mean, the birds are probably eating the mosquitoes and probably catching it that way, if I had to guess. Or maybe they are being fed on by mosquitoes. Maybe a little bit of both. But yeah, it makes sense that the birds would be less able to mitigate that. And I think, honestly, 20 years ago, we had a better concept of public health than we do now. Obviously, it wasn't great in some, like, I mean, think about that. Like 20 years ago, we were fully kicked into gear responding to HIV/AIDS. We were aware of these types of diseases, like the constant pressure to wear condoms to prevent the spread of STIs. Like, I feel like 20 years ago, we were doing pretty okay in these terms. And now it's just like, okay, now we're questioning the entire premise of disease spread mitigation. I don't really get it. I wonder if condom use is on a downturn. So it does seem like if you just look at the last 13 years from 2011 to 2024, that, and this is self-reported, I think, usage of condoms, like the people who are saying no has increased and the people who are saying yes has decreased. So it does seem like condom use is on a decline, although it doesn't seem like it's a huge percentage difference. But then again, a percentage difference can, like, you know, that's millions of people. Because it's like a percentage of adults who are of the age to have sex, so. Kitty's like, I'm like kind of resistant to getting vaccines, but I will get the flu shot if there's an effective one for bird flu, because this is not a drill if it spreads to people. Okay, yeah. Atomized American individualism is some of the most hope-killing stuff out there. Yeah. It's like the entire segment we had last week about like leftists bitching about wearing masks at community events. It's like, yeah, it's deep in our culture. It's going to be hard to root it out. This idea that, well, you can wear a mask if you want to, you can take precautions if you want to, but I don't have to, so I'm not going to. I've heard one too many streamers say something about how about condoms being too uncomfortable. Well, fork out the money for a female condom then. You can use an internal condom. Streamers should shut the fuck up, except you, Moss. You're okay. I'm the only good streamer. It's true. I'm the only good one. Demon Mama's on hiatus. I'm the only remaining good streamer. So sad. Oh god. Okay. Oh, this next Benedict thing. I did not take my Ritalin this morning, so I'm dragging ever so slightly. Dude, condoms suck. You know what sucks worse? Having your doctor tell you you have trichomoniasis, and then going to your pharmacy and getting the meds for it. Many worse things can show up, dude. Also, buy better condoms and stop whining. Yeah, maybe don't buy the like least expensive condoms. Get the ribbed ones. She'll like that a lot. I keep having like a million notifications on Blue Sky, and it's just like, oh, there's just a fucking bunch more people joining the website and following you. I'm like, okay. And they're all brand new accounts, so I'm not going to really go through and be like, ooh, what does this person's account look like? You know, if you followed me right now and you have a decent account worth following back, I'm sorry. I'm just going to be white as snow for a minute here. Okay. Good gracious. Okay, so obviously Next Benedict, everybody remembers that. Hello, gay fish. Next Benedict was being bullied by fellow students, and the teachers were not addressing it, and he went and used the girls' bathroom, which is the bathroom that he's supposed to use under conservative policies, and there was an altercation, and some girls in the bathroom ended up, like, I don't know what exactly the lead up was to the situation, but they bashed his head into the um, paper towel dispenser, and then he fell to the floor and ended up dying later of presumably a traumatic brain injury. So the U.S. Department of Education has launched an investigation, and they have found that Next Benedict School District was accountable for fostering a hostile climate. Um, so obviously that's kind of obvious, but it's cool that we are seeing progress on this. And then, of course, the Department of Education is about to be gutted, but whatever. Okay. So yeah, the Human Rights Campaign lodged this complaint filed in February this year regarding the conditions at Owasso public schools following the tragic death of Next Benedict, who died by no, that's a lie. Next Benedict didn't die by suicide one day after being assaulted by no. No, that's not what happened. It's called a fucking traumatic brain injury that you should have been kept overnight to observe and wasn't kept overnight for observation. Like, you could say he died of medical malpractice, potentially. But no. I'm insanely upset by that. Anyway, yeah, so according to, what is OCR? The Office for Civil Rights, the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights, identified repeated instances over a 3-year period in which district staff received notice of possible sexual harassment, yet district staff did not explain the process for filing a Title IX complaint or promptly contact a complainant to discuss the availability of supportive measures such as counseling or schedule changes. The 2020 regulations to Title IX require school districts to follow these procedures after receiving notice of conduct that could constitute sexual harassment. These district failures to respond to notice of sexual harassment reports it received that a teacher was grooming female students on social media, that a very young elementary school student was subjected to repeat harassing remarks that were described as sexual in nature, that a male student repeatedly hit and made unwelcome sexual comments to a female 6th grade student at school and on the bus, and that multiple students were subjected to repeated sex-based slurs, harassment, and physical assault. So basically, this situation was happening outside of just with Next Benedict, that just more broadly, there were numerous instances of abuses being reported and then the district management not appropriately responding. Owasso Public Schools has entered into a resolution agreement that includes requiring the school district to follow up with the parents of students affected by harassment, to advise them of their rights to file claims of discrimination, make public anti-harassment and non-discrimination statements to the public, revise its policies to be in compliance with Title IX, provide training on Title IX to school staff and students, conduct a school climate survey, review all student complaints filed within the prior 3 years, and audit complaints over the next 2 years, and ensure that incidents are properly documented and records are preserved. So they're kind of like, hey, do the regular stuff you're supposed to be doing. Do the thing that you're supposed to be doing. What's up, Oxpecker? Yeah, I think that masks at protests are not only like sensible community action, but they are also sensible self-preservation action when we know that cops go after protesters after the fact, and that people will sometimes try to contact your job and get you fired and stuff. Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, at the very minimum, I think it's part of a First Amendment freedom of expression argument to say, like, I can wear a mask. I'm allowed to wear a mask. Like, your desire for security doesn't supersede my right to wear what I want. I have the right to wear what I want. That's like literally the first addendum to the Constitution, dude. But yeah, it's good to see that there is at least some movement on getting justice for Next Benedict. It is obviously, like the public narrative is he committed suicide, and therefore there's not going to be any appropriate criminal charges to his assailants. But whatever. I feel like I'm saying "but whatever" a lot today. This is kind of the where I've just landed with everything. Is like, hey, horrendous politics stuff going on, but whatever. It's like not really impacting how I'm living my life. I'm still gonna move across the country and whatever. You know what I mean? It's like whatever. What else is there to say even? $67 likes. We're so close to 69. I get that health and safety measures should be taken, but we shouldn't have to use that as our reasoning for wearing them and defying mask bans. I mean, yeah, it's just, I think for me, that's what makes it so egregious for these mask bans to be in place, is that we are still in the middle of a public health emergency. And like we're the fact that we've done such a 180 from like masks are required to now masks are banned, when like the conditions have not changed. We still are in the middle of like a SARS pandemic. Um, but yes, their stated reasoning for trying to limit masks is for alleged security and safety reasons. Yeah, I do appreciate that like Japan has a whole masking culture, and I think that I remember Americans being like, "Well, that's weird," for a long time. But now I'm like, yeah, that's an admirable society. That's a society that actually gives a shit about public health and public safety and community. Like, it's just polite that if you are sick, you should wear a mask. I don't think that they wear masks all the time, but if you are ill, you should wear one. Even if you have to keep going about your business, if you have the sniffles, you could be contagious. Put on a goddamn mask. And now the idea of, since we know more that people can spread diseases before they show symptoms, then it should be by default an obvious community action to wear masks anytime you're in public. But we have strayed so far from that. And it's crazy how people are so, um, they react so strongly when we suggest that they should wear masks. Like they get vitriolic, they get mean, they start accusing you of being schizophrenic. It's crazy. In Japan, they actually have a lot of fear of becoming sick and missing work as a culture, so that's not the most healthy part. But hey, they really hate getting sick. Why shouldn't we hate getting sick too? I mean, like, it would be great if it was like, I love my job and I don't want to miss a day. Of course, it's more fear based. Like, I don't want to get sick because I can't miss work because I need money or I'll get kicked out of my apartment. But like, who likes being sick? I think you only like being sick in a country where that's the only time you get a break from your job. Like, for you to just, you hate your job that much. And you're like, I'm so afraid of getting sick that I'm gonna, sorry, it's like, I'm afraid of getting sick because I don't want to lose out on money, but also getting sick is the only excuse that I have to miss work. Holdover from being a kid. But that too. Like, why do kids hate being at school so much that they're like psyched to get sick? They clearly need more time off. And that's the case with kids and with workers. Like, clearly, if we relish the idea of a sick day, because even if we're actually sick, at least we get to stay at home in bed and like watch TV. Like, okay, you clearly need more days to sit at home and watch TV so that you don't feel like, oh yeah, I'm glad I got sick. Yes, I did see that The Onion is buying InfoWars. I am not sure what they're going to do with it. I'm excited about that. I think it's funny. Obviously, I don't know that this is going to harm InfoWars the brand, like the Alex Jones of it all. You know, he's going to find some other website, but it does mean that all of the previous brand recognition that InfoWars has engendered, like people are probably going to have not heard about this, and they're going to go to InfoWars and they're going to see some Onion satire. And the question is, like, are they going to know? Or is it going to be Poe's Law? Yes, if school was more about teaching kids how to learn versus how to recognize patterns and pass tests, kids might actually be more interested in it. Yeah. It's really tricky, you know, trying to make sure that kids are interested in learning when they're at a place that they're forced to be all the time. Kind of a challenge. Any hoozle. Okay, what else do we have? I'm not sure how long this stream is going to be today. I am so tired. Lifelong sickie, it ain't fun. Sad they thought I was having a good time in school. Mm-hmm. A bankruptcy judge has put the Onion's winning bid on hold while they investigate the auction. There just can't be good things, can there? We just wanted one good thing. That's all I wanted. Just one good thing. No. You get no good things, apparently. Judges are the worst. I genuinely think that I think that judges might be some of the worst people, like, on the planet, potentially. Worse than high school math teachers, who are very obviously miserable people in my experience. Is it because, like, some of the Sandy Hook parents, like, donated to go to the, like, the Onion's auction bid? Like, I don't, like, what is there to investigate? One multi-million-dollar company bought out a website from another multi-million-dollar company. Like, what's weird about that? I don't know. They just want to fucking ruin things. Kitty says, we do not spend nearly enough time breaking down language and recognizing attempts to manipulate you. We live in a world hell-bent on convincing us of some viewpoint or the other, but we need to be learning how to see through that early. Yes, I agree. You know, noticing the passive voice, noticing leading questions. It's definitely a skill that we should be working on at much younger ages. Ox talking about masks says it irks them that Antifa can be anonymous just as much as the Proud Boys, and they fantasize about a world where they can say for me and not for thee so badly. Drag that yearning out of their tomato red angry faces and sandpaper vocals so they'll lose a few dozen followers every other day over that presentation. Yeah, I do think it's interesting that the Proud Boys are the type of people who would make fun of me for wearing an N95, but they're also walking around wearing masks. So, like, I do agree that basically a lot of things that Republicans and conservatives do is, like, they want to be able to do it, but they don't want you to be able to do it. Their wives are going to be able to afford abortion no matter what. They're going to be able to afford food no matter what. They're going to be able to get vaccines and crazy experimental treatments as much as they want. But, you know, the poor don't deserve it. How many have you gone to Blue Sky? I know that a lot of you probably have been there already, but hands up, who has a Blue Sky account? Kitty has some complaints about Blue Sky because of Jack Dorsey. spent all morning building a DGG moderation list on Blue Sky. Is that something to do with Destiny? Pro-gun and pro-militia, except when black people do it. True. The founding of the NRA. Didn't Dorsey quit? I don't know. Okay, it's for moderating Destiny's community. Man, you're gonna lose a lot of a lot of people involved with progressive victory. Bullying a fascist. So much for the tolerant left. A fascist bullies you, but like they have the right to do it. We wouldn't want to assault free speech, would we? I mean, come on. Yeah, Viren, exactly. Like, you're just as bad as the fascists if you don't tolerate the fascists. I saw a really great explanation for this, about how the paradox of tolerance or the paradox of intolerance. Um, it's not like a moral prescription to be tolerant toward other people. It's a social contract. So if you become intolerant of other people, you are no longer protected by the contract of tolerance. Dorsey left Blue Sky in May. Cool. I think Kitty's complaint was that he didn't have to let Elon buy Twitter, I think maybe was the problem. But yeah, lots of you just now joining Blue Sky. As far as I know, Dorsey likes what Elon has done with Twitter. Cool. All right. Well, at least he's not involved with Blue Sky anymore. That way it can be a good network. A good website. I just feel like it's kind of sad because I was curating my Blue Sky to be less stressful in terms of what content I'm consuming. Mostly I don't get into annoying arguments with fascists on Twitter anyway, so it's like whatever. It's just the place where I get all of the most recent bad news about COVID and bird flu and genocide and everything else. And I think it's kind of unfortunate that Blue Sky is going to have to be that to some degree. I don't understand Mastodon. I think I had one at one point, but I don't really get it. 18.7 million Blue Sky users now. Yeah, Threads is from Meta, and apparently it's been crashing. I didn't know that. Blue Sky's fun. I think that I don't know if maybe I just changed my moderation settings on Twitter at some point in the past to like show not safe for work stuff without me having to click into it, but I don't know. I like the way that Blue Sky has that set up. Threads is so desperate that they're now implementing features Blue Sky has had for months or years. I think the enshittification is trying to set in on Blue Sky. Byron says it feels like any other new and alive social media site before the enshittification sits in. I mean, Brianna Wu joined and is now like the second most blocked account on Blue Sky. And all these liberals are joining and they're doing all this blaming trans people for the election results and shit. Like, it's certainly trying. I do appreciate the culture on Blue Sky is mostly just like block dumb fucking people instead of quote dunking them. Let the bigot speak. I need to know who you are. I mean, you can still their posts still exist on the platform. It's just We don't feed the trolls on Blue Sky. It's against the culture. The culture is like, we're not going to let people stir the pot over here. This is a place for people to be chill and like enjoy being here and organize with each other. It's just not, it's not part of the culture to argue. I like this. Skeet says, it's very funny. You can see the slight sense of regret on Elon's face. A guy who used to be a peak San Fran tech guy eating nothing at nothing. Sorry, but the best of Bay Area restaurants. Who is now a divorced weirdo eating McDonald's with a crowd of fellow man children. Like, yep, you're just eating McDonald's with a bunch of weirdos. Oh god, I hate that guy so much. Mike Johnson, get the fuck out of here. Blocking is good because the way the Discover algorithm works is by finding stuff that people you follow also interact with. Blocking people en masse literally deboosts them in the algo. Nice. Let's just force them into the fringes of society. What's up, Cypation? I do wonder what the inevitable falling out with Elon is going to look like. Oh, I mean, it'll be hilarious. It will be great. It's going to be fun stuff. I just feel like, yeah, there was not a lot of political commentary that I had today. Just not a big political commentary kind of moment. I was playing Timberborn the last few days, which I could do more of potentially. Yep, the falling out is going to be fun. There's going to be numerous falling outs. You know, Trump is constantly in conflict with his team. He's constantly firing people. He's constantly bringing new people in. Like, it seems to me like this is not going to be a very stable regime. JD Vance doesn't seem like he's going to be able to keep people in line. I don't know. He just seems like too much of a dumb little weirdo. Yeah, that's true. Mike Johnson puts on a choir boy demeanor to distract from the fact that he's one of the most bloodthirsty ghouls in the GOP. He's terrible. Trump betrays all of his supporters. Elon is bound to get worked over. I imagine it will hit his defense contracts hard. He'll be lucky to stay out of jail with Trump. Yeah, wouldn't it be funny if Elon claims that if Kamala wins, he's going to go to jail, and then actually Trump makes him go to jail for something? Yeah, it might hurt Trump's ego that Elon is more rich and famous than him. Yep, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. I hope the theme of everyone who gets close to Trump getting their lives destroyed continues in his second admin. Inshallah. We can certainly hope. Oh boy. Ooh. Yeah, I'm thinking about playing a game for another like hour or two. We can still chat. I can still read chat and stuff, but I think I'm going to play a game while we talk. Let me get this open and ready. I'm going to start on a new file, even though I have been making a lot of progress on my existing file, but, you know. IDK about more famous, but definitely the rich thing. Yeah, Elon is definitely more rich than Trump. We're going to play Timberborn. But I'm going to keep talking to you all. It's just that we're not going to be locked into any particular... I like playing little games like this because I feel as though it's a way of inhabiting a simple, mutually supportive world. Have you heard of Adam Likes Rice? No, I have not. Beaver game. What about the Nutter Butter TikTok? I don't know what the Nutter Butter TikTok is. What is it? I love it, can't run it, but I want it to. Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you upgrade your computer and you can play this game, it's very good. It's still technically in early access, I think. Okay, I'm going to start a new game. Yeah, let's just do this little map, even though I like bigger maps, but we're just doing it on stream, so... Oh, what are we gonna call our settlement? Streameria. That's what it's called. Adam is from One Plays, but I think his platform originated elsewhere. He's streaming on his own channel lately. Nice. Brand social media is cringe. This includes Nutter Butter TikTok. Oh, no. Okay, so the Nutter Butter TikTok is actually like a thing. Okay, where am I? Okay, this is where the water comes from. All right. Oh, the tutorial is on. Okay, well, I'm not going to be able to really read it. So let's just do the things that I know need to be done. Nutter Butter TikTok is like the cookie brand, but they're expressing suffering. Okay. Do I need to see some of this? Like, I'm very curious. Oh, wait, there's a second. Oh, I'm going to be able to open up another water source. Oh, that's cool. Okay, cool. Oh, is there dirty water there? Oh, yeah. This is bad water. This is a new thing that they added to the game. That's like... I don't know. It's like bad and it kills things. It's the opposite of good water. I don't know. Anyway. Cookie brand expressing suffering. Ah. I am very, very curious. I need a large pile for the wood. Nutter Butter TikTok is doing some weird core / dream core stuff on their TikTok, and seeing something like weird core / dream core get commercialized like that is, I don't know, but it fills me with seething anger. I mean, you know, I don't think that that's unreasonable. Just filled with seething anger. Oh, I need to place 2 lumberjack flags. Okay, I need to do another one down here, I guess. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop. Lumberjack. But I mean, you know, I think that I like these games. Again, yeah, because they have this spirit of, you know, mutual cooperation that I would like to fantasize about having in my actual life, you know? I say, even though I repeatedly talk about how I do not want to live on a commune because I do not want to fork over any control over how I spend my time. Or, like, where I put shit on my land. Like, the whole concept of my land is very problematic in the context of starting communes. Am I going to be able to purify this water at any point? I have not discovered a way of, like, changing bad water sources into good water sources. But it seems like all these trees should eventually be able to have water in them. Like, this is a very small amount of It's a very small amount of usable farmland. I have not played Terra Nil. No, I'm not familiar with Terra Nil. It's like if they took the Wendy's Twitter and went, okay, what if we lose our mind publicly? What if we go cursed like the youth? It's both impressive and capitalist rage-inducing. Yeah, what is that called? Recuperation? When these things that we think of as being undermining capitalism, they end up being co-opted by capitalism, like doom posting. I need to build a water pump. Yes, there needs to be water. Little water pump. Okay, I don't want to put it where I'm going to eventually put my wheel. There's going to be a wheel for power at some point. Where is that going to go? I guess right here makes the most sense. So I'm going to put this guy over here. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yes. Terra Nil is a game where you have to clean up a polluted planet and restore the ecosystem and stuff. That's fun. I don't have that in... Like I said, I don't think I have that option in this game. I don't think I have the option to cleanse the water. I know that I can extract bad water and use it to do other stuff. But, yeah, I don't think that there's anything I can do to, like, purify this source. Although that would be cool. But yeah, this is just a really tiny map. It's kind of... Obviously... You can't expand very much into other parts. You probably could expand a little bit into some other areas, but, like, not very much. Of course, at some point, I could hypothetically, like, use dynamite to blow out this path and, like, have a little lake over here. Or I guess I could flood this area and try to get a lake over there that way, but of course it'll go away over time. Strangely, I've seen and heard so much recently that I don't get as angry as I used to. I feel much calmer and I've been meditating more. It's been extremely helpful. Probably helps, too, that I live in a fairly centrist blue state, getting along well despite all the changes in the world. Yeah, I would say that that probably does make a big difference. If you know that you're going to be relatively safe. Let me put a small pile over here. But yeah, I mean, you also reach that zen where you go, oh, I know that I have very limited control over anything, that there are people who want bad things for me, and like, yeah, I know that. It's like, tell me something new. I already know that the world is bad. I don't feel that strongly affected by it. Now that it's happening constantly, you get sort of desensitized. There's always bad stuff happening. So at some point you go like, okay, well, bad stuff is going to continue happening. It's not going to stop happening. Oh, I can demolish this and then get like a little river going in here. Okay, I need to get some paths over there. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, bad stuff is happening all the time. And like, apparently there's not much we can do about it. So like, why would I stress myself about that? It feels a little bit silly. Maybe that makes me a bad activist, you know? Maybe I would be a better activist if I was, like, more angry and stayed angry all the time. I can definitely see that people would levy that criticism. Like, I would not be at all surprised if that is a criticism that people make. Okay, are we still working on this water pump? Why is it taking so long? Probably gonna need another one anyway. Making your enemies seem ridiculous. Yeah. I think that's a good tactic. And I've said before, I think that it undermines fascists to make them seem ridiculous. I think constant anger is bad for body, mind, and soul. It's better to be calmer and more rational. Like, again, I guess it's just a difference of like what do you actually find motivating? Like, is it actually motivating to be angry all the time? You know, are you a more or less effective individual member of a culture if you're like more or less angry? I'm sure that there are arguments to be made on both sides of that. Can I have stairs? No, I can't do stairs yet. Gatherer flag. Okay, I do need to start producing food. That's true. Okay, I'm going to put you here. And then we're going to start... He's going to start picking up all the berries in the area. Oh, there is a staircase there. A naturally occurring staircase. Okay, cool. Are you even a good activist if you aren't paralyzed by anxiety? Right, yeah. I mean, it's about what makes you more or less effective. So sometimes you see those posts online that are encouraging people to take it easy on themselves, you know? Okay, this needs logs. And like, you know, saying things like, oh, if pushing yourself was going to work, it would have started working by now. Like, if being mean to yourself to get yourself to do things was going to work, it would work by now. And then I actually know someone who like responds to that going like, well, it actually does work for me to be stressed. Like, that is what motivates me to do things. And I think it's one of those things where it's just different stuff works for different people. I think that the problem is that a lot of us struggle with being kind to ourselves. Like, we're so readily are like directing toxicity toward ourselves and what have you, that I honestly think that more people need the message of like being gentle to yourself is probably an easier way to convince yourself to do things. So similarly, you know, is taking it easier and giving yourself a break going to make you a better activist? Open to debate, like open to interpretation. Everybody needs different things, and everybody needs different things at different times. The thing that makes you more effective today might make you less effective in the future. Okay, this is looking pretty okay. I'm looking pretty alright. This game is really cute. I don't know if you can hear the music at all. I don't even know if I should have the music on for this game or if it's going to get caught by the YouTube. Okay. I just decided I was going to move those things. Okay, oh, now I need a farmhouse. Okay, so we need a farmhouse, and we're going to establish some farmland, which I guess I'm just going to put out in the middle of here for now. Well, I know that I'm going to use this area later for my power wheel. Would Brianna Wu be the most blocked person on Blue Sky if she didn't literally come in like, okay, you all are babies and need me to teach you a thing or two about how not to be terrorists? I didn't actually even see her initial tweet. Oh shoot, yeah, I need like a water storage thingy. Yeah, let's put some water storage thingies over here. And then also, yes, let's build an efficient farmhouse. Here, actually. Yeah, I'll put it here. Or here. Looks like it doesn't really matter. Okay, I'll just put this here for now. I'm probably going to end up with more than one farmhouse later anyway. And then it wants me to plant like 100 carrots or something. There. before she came back, she was already the 5th most blocked person. She created her account a while back. And then she actually decided to be like, I'm going to be active on Blue Sky. Yeah, I have no idea what her first tweet was. I bet it was hilarious. Anxiety has allowed me to identify a ton of problems with myself and with the world. ADHD has made it hard to know where to start with fixing things. Too many plans, too many ideas, too many problems. Yeah, the ADD of it all is definitely kind of a challenge. Let's increase the priority on this. And it's going to have water in it. There we go. Being a good activist just means you do good activism. Nothing about being angry or chill about that. Just doing things and doing smart things is the thing. Yeah, but I guess it's a question of what motivates you. Like, what actually causes you to move into action. Oh, did I say I didn't want to put this right here? Because, yeah, I'm going to have to move this later. I'm really going to need to, like, clear out this area and make more of this down here farm stuff. You have to work on yourself, facing the negative energy within, what's reflected back at you in others. You have to embrace that with the positive and be your authentic self. Yeah, being willing to accept that you are sometimes going to feel shitty and be shitty to people is, I think, like, a good thing as well. Just, okay, let me skip through nighttime. Just being willing to acknowledge that within yourself, and because you can't, like, solve a problem. If you're like, I'm a really angry person, you can't solve the issue of being an angry person if you don't accept that you are angry in the first place. Like, there's no addressing it until you accept that part. I think ADHD has better flow than saying ADD. ADHD. ADD. I don't know, something about it is just nicer. Glad to see you streaming this. I've had this sitting in my stream library virtually untouched forever. I think it's a great game. I think it's good. Why did it tell me to build a farmhouse before it told me to build water thingies? I don't know. I got some thirsty guys here. I don't appreciate my guys being thirsty. Ooh, excuse me. Corbarian says, if your activism is only fueled by anger or fear, you will burn yourself out, but letting yourself become disaffected is a path to conservatism. I see what you mean. So it's like running somewhere in the middle where you have to care about things enough to be able to get angry about stuff, but not be like, I'm so checked out. Like, of course, you have to be a certain amount of checked out in order to be able to be effective, but you can't be fully checked out, because then you just start caring about things like how much money you have. I love beavers. Are you making innuendos in my chat? It's not allowed. This game goes way slower when you are on 1x speed. Let's take it to 2x speed. Okay, now I have a water tank. At least one. I really don't like this map. Like, this map is so small. I like the bigger maps. I do enjoy flying around, though. Whee! Flying around. Whee! Oh my god, I clipped through the ground. Oh no. Okay, there we go. I'm back. Little beaver people. Let's see how close we can get. Oh god. Okay, apparently I can zoom past. Oh, goodness gracious. Alright. Okay, there we go. Look at their cute little faces. And there's little ones. Little tiny beavers. Zoom in. Oh, goodness. Why? Okay. These are blueberries. They don't actually like to eat them very much. It's like the last thing that they'll eat. If they have basically any other food, they will prefer to eat the other food. Ah, the hills have eyes. It's me. And these little Deku trees. What's up with those? Oh gosh. Well, is there anything else that I could yap about while I'm playing this game? I kind of feel like we're about to hit a very boring moment where I'm like, I don't have a lot to say. But that's why we're on the game in the first place, is because I'm like, okay, well, that's the end of the news for today. I don't have anything else to add. Waterfall. This game tries really hard to have realistic physics, and I appreciate that. Like the water physics, very realistic. It's day 3. I'm very impatient. Eric says, my BFF is a wonderful activist and has incredibly strong morals, also diagnosed high-functioning, low-empathy, narcissistic personality disorder. I think his ability to effectively act is aided by his lack of emotional care at time. Oh, that's interesting. Like, the idea is that, I guess, being emotional makes you more likely to make bad decisions? Is that kind of the vibe? Like, it's easier not to act rashly if you're not, like, angry, probably. Yeah, see, I could explode some of the ground up here, and then there would be this whole other river down here. But I would, as kind of late game stuff, the dynamite to, like, blow up this little inlet here. But I want to. I want to do that. Or I guess I could hypothetically just build like a super tall floodgate here. Could be fun. Just looking at what I can do later in the game. Oh my god, dude. Alright, this is the part of the game where you just have to wait for things to happen. Now they're planting carrots. Hope I still need to plant 10 more carrots. There we go. Already did all those things. Build a medium warehouse. I need to build medium warehouses now. There, I'm gonna do it this way. Just doing things I've never done before. Blah, 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 blah. Set this one to carrots. Set this one to berries. There we go. If you haven't looked into the haka performed by the Maori people at New Zealand Parliament, I recommend. It's an important moment in activist history. Yeah, I didn't really look into it further, but I did see that that had happened and that there is discussion about that. I saw someone being like, if you think US politics is crazy, just look at this happening in New Zealand. And it's like, dude, you clearly don't understand the haka or the people who are performing it if you're making snide commentary like that. There's a purpose for the haka. It means something. Wait, what did I say? That's a little facts don't care about your feelings pilled? They're just little guys. They're sleeping on the floor until I buy them houses. By which I mean I'm gonna make them build their own houses. I kind of want to deprioritize cutting trees in this area. And then just go do it over there. I'm never going to be able to grow more trees over here anyway, so. Peaceful games. Peaceful city builders. I did know that about wombats. So wombats, they live in burrows under the ground, and if an attacking predator like sticks their head into the burrow, they basically like use their rear end to smash the head of the fox or whatever against the edge of the burrow, which can like suffocate them or kill them from like the smashing impact. Love wombats. The Haka shut down Parliament. Yeah. So what basically, as I understand it, what was going on was that the New Zealand Parliament was considering basically reinterpreting the treaty they have with the Maori in a way that takes away things from the Maori who currently are existing today. So it's like, no, that's not how it works. Like, a treaty, if you're going to dissolve a treaty, it has to be dissolved in every way that it can be. You know, like, you can't just go, oh, we're going to dissolve specifically the parts of this that benefit the Maori. Like, and I've also seen people say really nasty things, like, about how the Maori are a conquered people. And then I've seen other folks responding like, you don't do treaties with a conquered people in that way. Like, the Maori ceded to some extent is basically what the conversation was that I was reading. I don't know a lot of details about it if we're being completely legit. I clicked on a sleeping one and it made a snoring sound. That was cute. Wombats are joining my list with honey badgers and skunks as weird fucking little guys that I respect a lot. Capybara, get an honorable mention here. Capybaras are cute. I don't know that they are really, like, accomplishing anything. Like, I don't know that they're smashing heads with their butts. But, you know, we still appreciate. Oh, man. I'm so eepy. I'm God's eepiest soldier. The USA has, quote, treaties with American Indians. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm just recapping a conversation that I saw other people having. Listen, if you're in here during this conversation, I deeply appreciate it. I'm also, like, not really explaining much of what I'm doing back here. Partially because I want to be able to maintain a conversation about other things, and the game is just, like, something to keep me occupied. I need to build houses, though. I need 6 houses. Where am I building them? I'm gonna put them over... Well, I've still got trees in the way right there. I want to start putting them over here, though, because eventually I'm gonna have, like, an above-ground structure here. Sure, let's do this, even though that's kind of nasty. Okay, now I'm gonna have a bunch of houses. Watched Captain America Winter Soldier this weekend. I need to watch it again tonight to take notes because we're recording another episode of the Many Worlds Hypothesis tomorrow. I'm on Gayfesh's podcast. I don't think that it's going to be permanently me and Demon Mama on there, but we are going to be covering quite a lot of content on there, so. It's going to be good stuff. Nighttime. Ferrets are the real domestic little guy. Little savages with no fear. Gotta have several and spare money for health concerns because American ferrets are messed up. But rats are a great option because they're less expensive in all the ways. Yeah, the one thing about ferrets is, like, I wanted a ferret when I was in high school, and my dad was like, well, you have to write me an essay about how to take care of them, which I feel is, like, a completely reasonable thing to expect. And it ended up being, yeah, lots of people keep like $1,000 in their bank account just in case their ferret gets sick because they require specialist care. And I was like, wow, that's a great reason not to have one. I'm really glad my dad made me do this research first because that would have been crazy. I'm almost ready to post the trailer. Yo, we're going to have a Many Worlds Hypothesis trailer soon. But it's going to wait till we get the next episode recorded. Yeah. So we're going to have several episodes in the bank when we are ready to start uploading those episodes, and yeah, it's gonna be very fun and exciting. I feel like Winter Soldier for me for some reason has always been a rather forgettable movie, so I'm trying to really appreciate it this time. Peaceful water flowing. What a beautiful world. A beautiful world where the water flows clean. In the river. I'm not sure where to get 1 or 2 rats because I know 1 rat needs a buddy. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, that rats are clan-based. 3 is better because if you lose one, the other will often die. They have a ton of serious health issues and can be just straight up deaf because Wardenburg's is growing in the population for some reason. That's fun. Rats just only live for like 2 years. I'm like, why would you pack bond with another mammal that's only going to live 2 years? It's bad enough that cats die when they're like 13, you know? Dogs, also pretty short-lived. Like, it's bad enough to have those animals where you get to have a long-lasting relationship and then it dies, but you'd fucking... looking at fucking rats, like, Jesus. My beavers are happier than ever. You hear that? My beaver's happy. Haha. Innuendo. Oh, and it just went up to 4? Okay, all of them have their basic needs attended to. Cool. If you ever have land, know that you need 2 alpaca as well. What are alpaca good for? Is it just their wool? Is that all? Prioritize the removal of this tree. I would like this tree to be removed. Oh well, it'll happen eventually. I think it's good to have shorter-lived pets for kids to teach them about death. Yeah. I could see that, but you could do that with, like, a bug. Like, you could get a pet tarantula and they... Sorry, yeah, like a pet jumping spider, and they only live for, like, a few years. And they're very cute, and they're very small and low maintenance. Alpaca will run off coyotes from sheep, etc. Llamas are good for that as well. Oh, so it's a defense. It's like it's part of your home defense strategy. Also, they provide amazing wool and are fantastic as weed control. Kind of better than goats, because they are much more pleasant and can be trained easier. Yeah, I'm assuming that alpacas are a little bit less of escape artists, too. Goats are fucking notorious escape artists. Oh no, Viron's doing surgery on his guitar. I think the emotional connection is part of the learning process. You can be emotionally attached to a jumping spider. I guess it's slightly different than mammal bonding, but yeah, I don't know. A guinea pig could also teach this lesson. I guess we're just like comparing apples to apples, like these different rodents that are short-lived. It's just about which one you're willing to have around your house. Oh man, we're making a roast today, and the roast is just starting to make roast smells. If you just need something to make noise, if someone or something strange crosses your yard, get geese. Geese, I've heard good things. Emu, I would not want to have an emu. I'm like, I don't really want to have a lot of large animals that are fully capable of killing me if they just decide to do that. Hamsters are delightful serotonin nuggets. Hamsters! Hamsters are super cute. But yeah, the original thing I was complaining about was having animals that you bond to for a short period of time, which I can understand the utility in teaching children how to deal with that inevitability. Excuse me. Guinea pigs can live like 8 years. Nice. We used to keep dwarf hamsters. Tiny hamsters. When I was a kid, my dad was dating somebody who had a sugar glider. What do I need now? Oh, now I need a water wheel, apparently. Ugh. I hate this. I don't like the water wheel function. I think it's really fucking annoying. It's like there's never a good place to put it. Because the water wheel... Okay, so here's the thing. The water wheel generates electricity. So it needs to be in the water, and it needs to be in relatively fast-flowing water. So it's best to put them, like, out on an edge like this right here, because the water's flowing faster here than it is, like, here. But then, all of my electrical buildings have to have a physical connection. Like, they have to be connected through a pipe system to the water wheel. Which means that I have to put a bunch of my... Oh, and you can't, What was that? Oh, their well-being increased. Okay. You can't have a path where these pipes are, or at least later. Yeah, later you can buy power shafts that like can go up and over a pathway, but at least initially when you first put these down, you have to basically keep your industry right next to the river, which is also where all of your fertile land is. It's so frustrating. Yeah, steal my Timberborn strats. I've played this game for a good while. Some rodents should be kept solitary, but guinea pigs are highly social and will die if solo. My aunt kept 2 sugar gliders as ESAs. Emotional service animals, sugar glider. That's funny. Well, shoot. Shit. Well, fuck. Crap. This is my least favorite thing about this game. I guess I'm not going to need this many carrots for forever. So let me get rid of some of this carrot land. Just remove that. And that's probably still going to be lots of carrots that I'm producing. So then we can build the stupid fucking water wheel. Just put it right there. Yeah, I think that'll work. My first fish was a shark that killed all the other fish once when we left town, and the guy who said they would feed the fish didn't. Came home to just him left. Oh, so you had a guy who was supposed to feed the fish, and when the fish wasn't being fed, he was like, I'm gonna eat these other fish. That's pretty legit, you know. Hard to argue with that logic. I need more pathways. Cool, there we go. When I was a child, I learned about death with a pet goldfish. Really, goldfish can live an incredibly long time. The only reason we think of them as short-lived animals is because we put them in shitty, tiny containers and we don't give them adequate space and we don't give them adequate, what's the word? Engagement? That's not the right word. That's not the right word. Enrichment. That's the word. Enrichment. So we think of goldfish as these short-lived animals, and it's really just because, like, we kill them. But goldfish can live like 20 years, I think. Goldfish can also be quite beautiful. Again, if they're being kept in conditions where they are, like, having their needs met, they can be quite vibrant. Oh my god. I had a, quote, feeder goldfish that ate all the other fish in the tank and became huge. It was the Highlander of fish. That can only be one. Yes. Also, goldfish are very easy to breed, so they are convenient feeders. A lot of people who get goldfish just get feeders and think, oh, they don't need anything. Yeah. Just starving fish to death. Because we also feed them garbage. Like, it's not good for them to eat garbage. Depriving them of necessary nutrients. Okay, see, this going 204, that's pretty good. That's pretty solid. Okay, what else does it want me to do? Build a lumber mill. Okay, yes, that's fair. Lumber mill. That requires power. Can I just put it directly right here, or do I have to have a pipe? I think I have to have a pipe. Okay, I have to put at least one pipe down. Power shaft. And then a lumber mill. Okay, let's just do that for now. Tasty. We're getting stuff done, y'all. Feeder goldfish saw the difficulty setting and refused to go down easy. True. The goldfish I had died within a month. However, my parents bought them from Woolworth in the 1970s. Woolworth actually used to have parrots and green monkeys in the store. The department stores did not take the best care of the animals before selling them. Laws have changed and Woolworth is no more in the US. Yeah, it was a novelty store. Not gonna lie, I'm still surprised at how well the wild goldfish I released into my pond to test the water have fared. I counted 10 last month when the water was low. I got them at the store, and it's a closed system pond, so not actually that wild. Yeah, they're tenacious little bastards. You know? They're like, I refuse to die. They've just been living in that water for like 2 years now. I don't feed them, but there are plants. I'm assuming that they feed off of like the roots of the plants, or like bird shit falling in the water, or probably bugs landing on the surface of the water. And it rains a lot up there, and that means that the water is being oxygenated. That's the one thing about still water is that it's not necessarily being oxygenated unless it's being agitated in some way. Yeah, definitely bugs. Roses used to have live animals in the pet department as well. I'm assuming that's another store. Yummy. To be a goldfish in a safe little pond. Wouldn't that be a wonderful life to live? You're just like, I'm chilling. I'm gonna eat all these bugs. What is your problem? Broken teeth. Oh no! I need to put down a teeth filing grindstone. A teeth grindstone. That's what I need. Man, it's starting to smell good in here. It's smelling good in here. It's pot roast night. We don't have pot roasts that often because it's expensive to buy a giant chunk of beef. Does anyone else go to PetSmart because they don't want to pay to go to a zoo? Yeah. We have a bunch of different pet stores near us, actually. And I'll go, like, one of them has tortoises. And we go hang out with the tortoises sometimes. They also have birds. One time I hung out with a bird there for a while, who was like, she really wanted my attention, but ever since COVID, they don't, they have signs up that are like, please don't handle the animals. So I was like, oh, she really wants to step up, but I can't let her do that. But she kept putting her leg out for me. She clearly wanted to step up. Gorgeous. I think she was kind of the same size as an African gray, but she was like pink, like a pink bird. It was probably the most I've ever enjoyed the company of a bird in my entire life. Excuse me. I went to this one pet store that had a massive tortoise that they just let free roam the store. That's cute. I love it. Chinchillas. Also, there used to be chinchillas at one of the pet stores I used to go to as a kid. Only pink birds I can think of are gala cockatoos. Let me look that up. No, she wasn't that dark pink. She was like a white, like a whitish pink color. All over. I cannot remember what she was called. Closest I've ever come to being like, maybe that would be a bird that I would like to have. There were also one time was a chameleon. It was kind of small. It was like, maybe 10 or 12 inches from tip to tail. And he was like looking at me and like reaching out and being grabby. I was like, this is the most social lizard I've ever seen. Lizards I don't really view as being very social animals. They kind of just hang out. But boy, howdy, he was like, maybe he hadn't been fed or something. I don't know. But he was desperate for my attention. Have to build a forester now. Forester. Oh, I do actually have to purchase this. Okay, cool. Yes, I can purchase that. Okay, I'm eventually going to have 2 of these. So for now, I'll put him here. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. 90% of the pet stores in Virginia that I've been to have a large, overweight cat that has free roam of the store. It's almost an unofficial requirement for pet shops. Was it a rose-breasted cockatoo? That sounds closer. Rose breasts is what I typed. No, that's a gala. No, it was like a, oh my god, like a white pink bird. Parrot? It was definitely a parrot. Not a galah. She was a very gentle pink. She was like a pink cockatoo. Okay, let me see if pink cockatoo gives me what I want. I didn't see her fringe up, so I don't know, maybe. But basically, she looked like this. Like, you know what I mean? She had a very light coloration. She was almost like white, and then just had a very gentle blushing pink. So I think this is just called a pink cockatoo. But yeah, she was good. I guess she's smaller than an African gray. I love palm cockatoos because they look evil. Palm cockatoo. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this guy looks like he's going to destroy you. Like he would rip your flesh off. Wow, that's crazy. Cockatoos, their bills are not to be trifled with. Moluccan cockatoo, I think, is the species. Yeah. Again, most enjoyable interaction I've ever had with a bird. I don't like birds very much. Not the biggest fan of birds. I want my bird. Got a little Iron Man too. Still got nothing on macaw beaks though. I mean, macaws have the strength. It's hard to beat like a big bird with a nice strong jaw. I love talking birds. I'm not a big fan of noise. Like, stop making noise, actually. It's part of why I don't like having dogs. Dogs bark a lot. They're very noisy. Sometimes my cat's very noisy, and it makes me want to strangle him. I'm super not prepared for... Hold on. I need to... Hold on. I need to start... Ooh, I think I just have to build a shitty dam right here in the middle of everything. Because... It's gonna flood soon. I'll have to delete this later. I don't like these, but whatever. Now I need a path to it. I don't know if I have enough... I don't know if I have enough anything for this. Just gonna... I know I'm putting down a bunch of shitty path. I'll fix it later. One of my scoutmasters inherited their dad's African gray. He was a dirty old man, and his kids inherited the shop and the bird from him. He would always greet the scout troop with a variety of colorful swears when we arrived. Good memories. Nice. Yeah, exactly, Gayfesh. I do not want to care for a toddler that lives for 60 years and has a bolt cutter for a face. I think that's perfectly reasonable. I do not want to deal with that. Okay, now I have to plant some pine trees. What was it? It just wants me to do 20. Well, I'm going to do way more than 20. Okay, now we're done with the tutorial. Now I can do whatever I want. Bratty toddler with air capability. Okay, yeah, there is a drought approaching. How much wood do I have? Do I have enough wood to finish this? Typically, the first drought is pretty short. But, like, basically at some point soon, this water is going to stop flowing. And then if I don't have a dam, then the water is just going to flow out. And then I will not have any growing capabilities for that entire time, which I have plenty of food stored up. And we have some water stored up, but still, we don't really want to trifle with this. Green cheek conure. Green cheek conure. Conure? You said you don't like noise, and I got a very poorly timed loud trumpet music ad. Sorry. I know, the ads, like, they don't seem to balance the audio very well. And I have my audio up where, like, when I'm speaking, I'm just regularly in the yellow zone. If I turn it up a little bit, I'll be peaking in the red, which I don't want to introduce any, like, noise to the recording. Come on, the drought is only in 2 days. Let's build this dam. Come on, guys. We can do it. I looked and saw it was day 14, and I was like, oh shit, the first drought is at, like, day 17. And it has to be all the way across, or it's not gonna do anything. This river is super wide, too. This is much wider than the river usually is. Come on, guys. Build that dam. Ooh, you know what? I can increase the number of builders. Oh, except that I don't have enough people to do that. Dang. What's a job that doesn't need to be done right now? I kind of don't need you gathering food right here. I need to destroy some of these resources too. Come on, guys. Come on, guys, build it. I worked for a psychiatrist once who had an African gray parrot in the therapy room, in the group therapy room. He worked in adolescent and family psychiatry. The darn parrot was a living HIPAA violation. Little Devil would sound like patients in group, imitate the phone, even have the receptionist and staff talking. He would practice his sounds and sentences when the room was empty. Heard him through the walls during treatment meetings every Friday. Yeah, why would you do that? Why would you have a parrot in a room where people are saying their secrets? That's insane. That's pretty insane. Walking HIPAA violation. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to build this in time. I'm trying so hard. Come on, guys. Oh, come on. We don't have very much time. No, they're gonna go to bed before we finish building the dam. Dang it. Gosh darn it. Gee willikers. Yeah, the drought's coming. Yes. Not much we can do about it at this point. Losers? What losers? Come on, man. It's a lot of logs. Okay, check this out. Okay, the water stopped flowing. It's like still flowing down and out here. So I'm going to lose... Wow, this is a 2-day long drought. It's gonna suck for a minute. Can we put this at highest priority? I wonder if we're, like, gonna be able to get it done. I don't think so, but... we can cross our fingers. Don't know what good it'll do us, but we certainly can try. Nope. That's the end of my water. Sad. Man. Alright. And then everything starts to recede. Oh, man. Oh, and I have 2 days of this. I hope I have enough water. I'll sure be ready next time. Oh, the drought. I did not prepare for the drought. Now everything's all gross. Not green. Such a bummer. Well, for this week, what's going on this upcoming week? I have a million appointments on Wednesday. I'm still planning to stream, but I have a med eval in the morning, and then therapy in the morning, and then a dentist appointment in the afternoon, and honestly, it might end up calling off stream. I don't actually know. It sort of depends. I just have a lot to do the entire day. I guess it also depends on how late my dentist appointment goes. I'm obviously going to be editing a lot this week, as I recorded the video on Friday, so I have editing to do. I was hoping to have the video out before the end of the week, but I am not sure if I'm going to feel satisfied with the editing. So I'm going to try my best on that, but I don't know if it's going to come out this week or if it's going to come out the following week. And then I have a piercing appointment on Saturday next week. So I'm just kind of killing time to see. I'm hoping that it seems like nobody's going to get thirsty. That's the important thing. We still have water in the tank here, so nobody's getting thirsty. And then the water starts to come back, and it does take a bit for the water to actually come back. Okay, I like watching this in, +1. Or, just 1 times speed, or maybe 2 times speed. And then everything comes back and is green again. It's very nice. Finally finishing my first letter for bottom surgery on Wednesday. Hell yeah! Then I get to hope I can rapid schedule the second one, because I'm going to assume with Trump the insurance won't care about the new WPATH recommendations. Well, I mean, you're still on OHP, right? I'm assuming that blue states' health services, whoa, that was interesting, are still going to cover this care. But again, that is an assumption that I'm making. Water's coming back. I like it when the water comes back. Nope, that's not what I meant. I meant to do this. It's interesting if you think about the world building of this too. All the plants have to have adapted to periodic drought conditions in such a way that they can just come back to life and start working again when the water comes back. It's very interesting. See, and this is what the dam would have done for us before. It would have retained any of this water. So eventually I'm going to build a floodgate, probably down here, because a dam, it only goes up to a certain level, and then the water can pass over it. It did still raise the water level back here, though. Oh, to the extent that it's flooding a little bit. Is it going to stop doing that now that it can flow through down here? Yeah, okay, cool. Realistic water physics, it sometimes floods everywhere. Yeah, I'm kind of just making the assumption that blue states are going to still do bottom surgery. I don't know. Do we really think that that's a risk for it to go away in blue states? I kind of feel like maybe it's just me coping a little bit. Oh, and the bad water goes on a drought too during that time, so That's all coming back now. And then it's flowing off the map over there. I want to know what this is for. What did they have in mind when they made this little thing up here? What did they want to do with that? It's so interesting. Is this just to show you that you can build bridges? It's interesting. Game design. Trump says that he would like to get rid of gender-affirming care for all ages, being that he is POTUS. That seems like a proposal to ban care nationwide. Well, so the question is, do they have the Senate majority that they need? They don't. A lot of these House ones are still contested. And then several blue states, including Washington and California, I believe, have stated that they are going to push back. Like, they are prepared to sue the shit out of Trump and his administration for these changes, which means that likely there are going to be injunctions where, you know, it's not legal for you to enforce this during that period of time. Why did I accidentally put a path down there? That was an accident. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, the blue states are going to be like, yeah, actually, we're going to keep doing this. Oh, okay, yeah, you're saying that insurance might need 2 letters instead of only 1 because WPATH only recommends 1 letter. Got it. It might be that blue states still pare back a lot of services because of loss of federal money. I mean, I think what's going to happen is you're going to see more private practices who are just like, we can't accept Medicaid. Like, in order to provide this care, we can't accept Medicaid. Which obviously still makes things inaccessible. SCOTUS has ruled in favor of states' rights in the past. Doing that will work for blue states as well. Right. It should be up to the states. If, like, you know, in the case of, like, us having a fascist government, they do have to at least sort of pretend somewhat. I'm not saying that it's good that red states can make it illegal, but I'm just saying, like, if Trump is in office, the best case scenario is that it's states' rights. As bad as the Supreme Court is, I doubt they would go with a full-on ban. Yeah. I do think that, again, the optimistic version of this is that they just say, let's leave it up to the states. Let's go Dobbs with this. Okay, what else do I need right now? Let's see. We've got carrots, berries. We definitely have less of this food than I would like. So let's turn this gatherer back on. Okay, this forester can plant blueberries, so let me plant some blueberries because I'm going to clear out a lot of this over here. Food. Nope, it's this. Blueberries? No, that's not it. Oh, blueberry is a bush. Of course, it goes over here. And I want to clear this area. Yep. Because I want to be able to put more farm shit there. Fun times. Look at these guys. I have them at ×2 speed so that it's just so funny how they're like, just getting rid of all this stuff that I want gotten rid of. Look at them. Look at them working so hard. My little bambinos. Yes, bambinos. I kind of want to show off the other world that I've been working on. And then might call it a little bit of an early show today. Hello, Uncomfy. I saw you in Takis, or was it Takis or was it the fundraiser yesterday? I seen you recently in the line chat. Good to have you over there. Okay, now I want to show off. Oh my god, I've got a lot of... What did I name it? Is it Arch? Yeah, it's Arch. I just want to show you this one that I've been building on in my free time. It'll be really hard for Trump to attack even blue states all willy-nilly. There are Republicans and Congress seats that they do need from those places. Yeah. Yeah. Lots of old Republicans on Medicare. Or, yeah, it's Medicare. Medicaid is the one that's for poor people. Both on Takis and the fundraiser yesterday. Nice. Okay, this is my current world that I'm working on. It's much bigger. This is where it started. Obviously, this is my main area. And I'm starting to expand across the river now. And this is where you can extract bad water and then take the bad water and refine it into stuff, which then I can use to make explosives. And then I think I should be able to make dynamite soon, which can blow up the ground. I've gotten lots of little floodgates. Ooh, check this out. Ooh, you should watch this. This is fun. It's nighttime, which means it's harder to appreciate. There's this entire part of the map that I just have control over whether or not it has water on it. It was originally blocked off. I unblocked it off and then I put in a floodgate. Just an enormous part. I can't even zoom out any further. This is how big the map is. Yeah, I know, Kitty. I'm just gonna be, like, off. I'm gonna have to take a lot of time off with the move. Like, I have to clean this entire place, you know? And that means, like, I'm gonna have to tear apart my office in order to clean all of the things in my office that need to be cleaned. So I think, realistically speaking, I might have to take off, like, 3 weeks of streaming or something. And that's a very long time for me to take off. Like, for me to miss 6 streams. So I'm trying not to miss any between now and then. Best I can. Like, obviously, I'm not going to be perfect about this, but yeah, check this out. And it's going to keep, this is going to keep filling up, I think, actually. Or it did at one point. The first time I filled this up, it, like, spilled over this way and then also filled up this area. If I take out these 2 things right here, which I'm not really sure how I'm going to get over there. I'll get over there eventually. I could tear these out, and then this whole part of the map would also fill in, which I kind of want to do, actually. I kind of want to just do that really quick. Can I just do that really quick? How do I want to get over there. I don't know that there's an easy way to get over there. Hold on, let's just do this. And I need to build some stairs there. Put some stairs there. Or how else could I do this? My computer is certainly working really hard right now. I just like breaking these dams and like causing water to go places that it otherwise wouldn't. On this stream, Lux drains the RLC. Listen. Whoa. YouTube just crapped out on me. Did the stream? Okay, stream connection may have broken for a second there, but it's back now. I think it's back now. I'm just thrilled to have seen the box working so well to bring in more donos. Hopefully it has been a little something. Also, I love the box and I'm glad it exists now. Yeah, I like the box. The second box usually doesn't get any attention. Like, box number 2, people don't care as much about box number 2. But there is a second box. I need to draw more attention to it somehow. Anyway. No downtime on the stream? Well, that's good. I don't think there's a really quick way for me to get over there, unfortunately. Dang. Dang it. Gosh, darn it. Darn. But anyway, I just figured I would show this off. Like, I broke a thing right here, so there didn't used to be any water down this way. There was no water this way. I fixed that. Obviously, I've got my little floodgates here, which, technically speaking, I can, like, fully... I can crank that up to 100 and then flood everything, which is kind of amusing sometimes. It'll, like, slowly raise the water level in this area. And then this, like, you can see that no water can pass through up to that height. And I can adjust that up or down. And then, yeah. There's a lot of bad water on this map. Technically breaking these dams and stuff could spread the bad water. But again, it's like a product that I can use. Ooh, there, I got it to spill over. That's what I wanted earlier. Yeah, there's even more now. Yeah. We love water. And see, yeah, it's starting to flood my stuff, so let me actually put this back down. Whoosh. And then it whooshes out. And then it stops flooding. Countdown. And then it stops flooding. And then it stops flooding. And then it stops flooding. There we go, it's gone now. So, yep. It's my little guy. I called it Arch. I don't remember what it was. I was in the middle of watching some Nile Red when I named this Arch, so I don't know. It had something to do with what he was doing at the time. But yeah. I'm so ready for box 2 when tax season arrives. I just a poor kitten. Yeah, no worries. I'm definitely looking forward to the spring in that regard. Like, I want there to be more... lots of spring donations is going to be a good time. Oh goodness gracious. Well, do we have any last minute things to talk about? I guess we could watch the Haka really quick before we log off. Let me open this up and find Haka. Oh, this person added subtitles to the Haka.
ngā pōti e whakahe.
This is fun. I love that this is the Maori just being like, hey, fuck you for trying to, like, revoke parts of our treaty. You don't get to unilaterally decide to change the terms of our agreement. I didn't realize that there were so many Maori in the governance of New Zealand. I mean, that's a good thing. It means that it's less likely for them to get fucked over, as opposed to us having, like, maybe one grand total of a Native American in our Congress. So that's cool.
The House is suspended until the ringing of the bells. The gallery is to be cleared.
That was fun. Yeah, good stuff. Love to see Indigenous people, like, taking back their power. It's good stuff. Yeah. It's a good moment. You can't be shouted down, you know? I get chills. I know, it's really, like, quite emotionally affecting. It's stirring. I think stirring is the word for it. Hell fucking yeah. I love rugby. I love how that statement seems so disconnected, but it's very much connected. Oh boy. I think I need to change some camera settings. There's so much color pop, and I actually think I need it to be a little bit less color pop. All right, well, I'm gonna go eat lunch. I hope that everybody has a good afternoon. I was intending to see you on Wednesday, but again, my day is just going to be completely crazy on Wednesday, so I might skip it and then see you again on Sunday. Oh, and I'm probably going to be, I think I'm going to be on the Transatlantic Call-In show again this Thursday, and I'm going to have Josie Caballero on with me. And then I don't know if we're doing a Thanksgiving episode. I have to touch base with Arden and see if we're doing a Thanksgiving episode. I'm kind of hoping not. Like, I would rather not do Thanksgiving. I would rather just chill. I'm not making dinner, like, I'm not making a special Thanksgiving dinner this year, but I do want to chill. So, all right, everybody, much love. I'm thinking about changing, I call you all my Horties because of the whole dragon thing, but I'm thinking of switching it to my Muses because that matches with the musing moss a little bit more. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll gather some opinions about that. Muses? Horties? My Muses. Yeah, you're just in time to say goodbye. Yeah. All right. Toodaloo.